There's something I've been noticing about you. Something I haven't rushed to say. Something I've been holding quietly. Not because I was unsure, but because it felt important enough to say slowly. I admire who you are when no one is watching. I admire the way you keep going, even when you're tired. The way you still care, even when the world asks you to harden. The way you carry so much without asking for attention, as if being strong all the time were just expected of you. Take a breath with me for a moment, just a little slower, because this isn't asking anything from you. It's simply seeing you. So many people only notice the surface, what's easy to comment on, what's obvious. But I notice other things. I notice the quiet you carry after long days, the care you give even when you need care yourself, the way you hold everything together without making noise, like your effort doesn't deserve to be seen, but it does. I admire the woman you are in the details, the way you think before you speak, the depth of your feelings, the sensitivity you try to hide so you don't seem too much, when in truth, that sensitivity is one of your greatest strengths. You don't need to prove anything here. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to perform. Here, you're allowed to just be. I see how hard you try to do the right thing, even when you're not sure it's enough. I see how much pressure you put on yourself. How often you doubt your own value, and how rarely you stop to acknowledge everything you already are. So let me tell you this, gently, honestly, who you are is already enough. You have a presence that doesn't need effort, a beauty that doesn't ask for approval, a strength that doesn't shout, but holds everything steady. And I admire that. I admire the way you still believe, even after disappointment, the way you still feel deeply, even after being hurt, the way you remain kind when it would be easier to close yourself off. That isn't weakness. That's courage. I admire your essence, the woman beneath the responsibilities, beneath the expectations, beneath the roles the world keeps assigning to you. The woman who thinks, who feels, who dreams, who keeps trying, and still, sometimes, wonders if she's enough. You are, not because someone chose you, not because someone said it, but because it's true. I imagine you in the quiet moments, when you don't have to impress anyone, when you're alone with your thoughts, when you laugh at something small, when you finally let yourself rest, when you soften, even for a moment. That's where you're most yourself. And that's where I admire you even perfection, but for being real. I admire your ability to feel deeply, to care, to connect, to want something meaningful. In a world that often treats everything as disposable, you are not disposable. Your presence, your depth, you're someone who leaves an impression, even without trying. And I know that many days it feels like no one notices that, like no one sees it, like no one acknowledges it. But I do. I see the woman who holds everything together. I see the woman who keeps showing up. I see the woman who feels deeply. And I see the woman who deserves rest, care, and recognition. You don't need to become more. You don't need to change. You don't need to reshape yourself to fit. You already are. And if someday you forget that, if you look in the mirror and doubt yourself, remember this moment, this calm, this recognition, this quiet certainty that you matter. Because you matter, not for what you give, but for who you are. I admire you in a calm way, a respectful way, without pressure, without demands, an admiration that doesn't pull, doesn't rush, doesn't invade. It simply recognizes. And maybe, just maybe, the world would feel lighter if you looked at yourself with the same care you offer others, if you treated yourself with the same kindness, if you allowed yourself to be seen, even by yourself. I want you to keep this feeling, not as a promise, not as a weight, but as a reminder. You are enough. You are seen. You are admired. And whenever you need to remember that, you can come back here, slow down, and feel it again. And if this message were meant just for you, if someone were looking at you right now and truly recognizing who you are, what would that awaken inside you? If you feel like sharing, tell me in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and come back whenever you need a place where you're seen, without needing to be anything more than you already are. I'm here,